What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Insightful Principles. My name is Kevin Jenkins, and I'm here with a special guest of mine, Adrian Mcgee. And I'm so excited for this conversation. Me and Adrian, we actually go back to our college days at Bowling Green in Ohio. And it's been so great to see Adrian's progression within his industry that he's working in, and then also with the brand that he's building with the grind season. And this conversation is going to be all about just that, being able to find your purpose, developing your mindset, and also being able to leverage your career while building a business on side. So how's it going, Adrian? Welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
It's great, man. It's great, bro. I appreciate you for the invite. Definitely appreciate the words. It's a beautiful thing to see us, progress from where we were to where we are today. And, just to see your journey. You've been out here doing this for a minute, so I'm new to really building my platform, man. But kudos to
Thank
you
you.
because you've been doing this for a few years. So I've been watching you. It's been motivating, and,
Thank you.
it's an honor to really be here right now.
Oh, vice versa, bro. We all, are just walking in our journeys with being able to create our content to really inspire the world, and that's why I do it, and I'm sure that's why you do it too as well, just to shine a light to other people so they can be able to develop the necessary skill sets to have a better life for themselves. So just can't wait for this conversation to get rolling. Now, to start it off, I did want you to kind of give our viewers a little details on your background and how you came about creating your brand, The Grind Season.
Yeah, most definitely, man. So honestly, just through my journey, man, I've been highly blessed, So from, coming from where I am, going to Bowling Green to further my education, I've just been blown away with the blessings I receive. I've been put on a good path, and my career has accelerated. It's accelerated much further than I could ever imagine, especially before I hit 30. And so as I realized while I was on my journey, I was leveraging certain tools. And I'm a big believer in, you can't really reach success until you reach a level to where you can give back. And so I started kind of reaching for my purpose. Like, hey, I'm doing this here. I'm reaching levels that I'm really enjoying. I'm doing what I want to do every single day in my life for my professional career. And so as I realized I was attaining knowledge from a lot of sources, rather that be YouTube, rather it be books, rather it be conversations with other people. And what I realized is I have an ability to reconstruct this information I'm receiving and pushing it off to other people so that they can leverage the same tools, methodologies, resources to reach levels of success that they want to strive for. So what really happened was I developed the grind season with the sole purpose to help people reach levels of success that they want to go after. And so I'm really big on talking about what they want to go after because success is such a different term for whoever you're talking to. And so usually the information that I provide is going to be information that's going to be can be received by anyone, no matter who you are. And so grind season was really developed for one reason, and that reason was to help people accelerate and expand their path towards success.
I totally agree, and I've told you this off camera. I think that the grind season is such an excellent name for your brand because I feel like we're all in a season, and whether we're trying to accomplish a specific goal, it's a constant grind. It's a constant chase to becoming a better version of yourself, and I just think that that brand that you're creating is spot on with the message. Now, it would be great if you can kind of give the viewers your perspective on how they can leverage their 9 to 5 with being able to create a business on the side and automate that process. I think that a lot of people that are watching, they may be still trying to develop their purpose and their gift. How can they exactly find that so they can have that passion outside of work to build on that vision long term?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. That's a great question. And when it comes to side businesses, when you think about it, it really became a huge thing last year. Most people were kind of doing it. You'll see it every so often, and it'll be great. But what happened during the pandemic, it gave a lot of people free time. And so with this free time, it
Hmm.
kind of, pushed entrepreneurship in a lot of people. And it was a great thing. I love seeing it. And so what I started to see was, we all have an opportunity to leverage these side businesses. And when you think about it, they say millionaires have seven streams of income. And, and if you break it
Hmm.
out, a few of those could come from side businesses. It doesn't necessarily have to be a side business. It can be investments, which most, that's kind of the big thing too. But when you think about your nine to
Hmm.
five, not everyone is fortunate to be doing something they love every day in their nine to five, and that's
Hmm.
expected. No one just graduates from
Hmm.
college or even graduates from high school and just immediately start doing what they love. And so, what you have to do is you have to leverage these skill sets and these relationships that you are developing while you're on the path to your nine to five. See, we're spending time with people. See, people are probably the most important assets and resources that we have, especially while we strive for
Hmm.
success. And so when you are working your nine to five job, you are developing relationships with people across the board. It's not like you're just around one set of people. Every person has a unique value that they can bring to you. So I think the first thing that you have to do is leverage those relationships. And it doesn't necessarily mean leverage them as a resource, just watch them. You could watch somebody and learn so much from them. You can just have conversation with them and learn so much from them. So I think that our job is really one of the only places where we leave our house and we are constantly communicating with people. And so you have to take advantage of that. Next, you have to identify the skills that you're developing. No matter what job you have, you are developing skills. If you work at McDonald's as a cashier, you are learning how
Hmm.
to communicate with people. It's those small things, and we undervalue the skill sets that we get from our nine to five jobs so much. And it's crazy because it doesn't matter what you do, you could write a book about it and it could sell. And why is that? It's because we are
Hmm.
all developing these unique skills that we can leverage no matter where we can go. And so the people who continue to strive and kind of climb that ladder, they have an ability to keep on identifying these skills. The first thing is you have to identify the skills that you're building and the skills that you have. And then what they do is they utilize their nine to five job to continuously build these skills and develop them so that they can be skillful enough to be leveraged on a side business. And so the biggest thing though
Hmm.
about a side business in your nine to five job is you have a limited amount of time. And I just released the episode last week about this is we don't have enough time. There's only 24 hours in a day. And so you can't just expect to come out of your nine to five job and just put 8 hours in a day for your side business. It's just not going to happen. So what you have to do is you plan it, right? You figure out first what you want to do. What skills do you have? What resources you can utilize, and what can you do to build a side business. And it doesn't have to be, but I
Hmm.
prefer it to be around your passion because your passion is going to be that fuel that keeps you going. See, again, we have a limited amount of time
Yep.
and we're going to be stressed. We're going to be tired, when we leave work. And so
Hmm.
if I'm doing something that I don't really enjoy, there's a much higher chance of me not doing it. Like it's just not going to be a priority.
Yep.
So you leverage your passion, you leverage your skills that you have, and you develop a side business based on that because you're going to be able to be motivated and committed to do that. And I'm not saying that you have to build a side business and it has to stay a side business. You can develop a side business
Hmm.
and it can grow so much that you slowly end up reaching into a full-time entrepreneur. And now you're at a point where you're doing something, leveraging the skills that you have, and you're doing something around your passion. And what have you just reached? You just reached self-fulfillment. So I think that's the biggest thing that people have to realize is your side business is such a fuel to really do what you want to do every single day. It's a hobby. Imagine getting paid for your hobby. You know what I mean? It's an amazing thing,
Hmm.
and that's how you can be motivated to continuously do this after working 8 hours a day. After with your commute, commute lunch, you were looking at 9 hours away. 9 hours away from your home, and then you talk about responsibilities. You only have a few hours a day to work on this. So you gotta do something that you're motivated to do it because if not, it's gonna end up falling off the burner. You're not gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's spot on because I tell a lot of different people too as well is that that's why finding your purpose is so important because having a passion to want to do something outside of work is what's really going to allow you to stay motivated and when it gets hard to continue to keep going because entrepreneurship is certainly not easy. So you want to make sure you're doing something that you thoroughly enjoy And I read something instead that your 9 to 5 is your vehicle to get you to your destination.
Hmm.
And that destination could be, you becoming an entrepreneur, you controlling your time and freedom where you wake up when you want to. You're building a business for yourself that you thoroughly enjoy. And I think a lot of times some people look at their 9 to 5 as that destination, but as an entrepreneur, you want to look at it being a vehicle to leverage those skill sets that you need to get you to your destination to become a full-time entrepreneur. So I totally agree with that statement. Now, I think the biggest proponent that really stops individuals from being able to accomplish their dreams is their goals are not specific, measurable, or even realistic. And one approach or strategy that really helps with that are SMART goals. Can you elaborate on that approach?
Definitely, man, definitely. And to circle back on something, because here's the thing: entrepreneurship
Yeah,
is not for everyone, and that's completely fine. Like for
it's not.
me,
That's true.
I could be
Mhm,
totally fine working my 9 to 5 job the rest of my life if it's aligned with the stuff, if it's aligned with my purpose
mhm,
and it's aligned with my passion. So don't get me wrong, entrepreneurship is a
mhm,
great thing. Everyone should build multiple streams of income, and entrepreneurship does not have to be one of
mhm,
those. It can be investing. But the thing
mhm,
is what's important is leveraging your 9 to 5, your current situation, to get
mhm.
to a 9 to 5 that you want to be in. You know what I mean? So that's
That's.
really important to understand that. So to jump back on the
Mhm,
smart goals is a big thing. Smart goals is actually something I learned in my industry as a consultant. And smart, it stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And so the issue with a lot of our goals is they're too vague. And so we
mhm,
make these goals and we make them. There's two things. They're too vague and they're too far away. And if you make
mhm,
a goal that's far away, it makes it non-attainable because you don't know the tactical steps to get in there. It's like if I want to become a
mhm,
millionaire, it does not make sense to make a goal to be a millionaire in 5 years without thinking about the goals that I need to do each year to get there. Before I become a millionaire, I need
mhm,
to touch six figures. Before become a millionaire, I need to touch 500,000 first. So it's like when you set these
mhm,
goals that are really far out, they become so vague that they're not attainable. And so when you follow the smart methodology, it creates goals that make it attainable and you can actually reach and grab it. And so I believe that I think that you should make a goal, a long-term goal, 100%. But because you got to have a line sight, you have to have sight into where you want to go long term, and then you develop smaller short term goals to get there. And you start off with, what do I want to do, or what can I do in the next 60 days. I've read something that you should not set a goal that is further than 90 days away, and it makes complete sense because we
mhm.
are not going to be able to grab it. We got to think of those
Yeah,
tactical steps to
it's not
get there.
attainable.
It's not attainable.
Mhm,
Exactly. And
mhm,
so when you think about that 60-day time frame, even 30 days, I think 30 days is probably even better, but 60 days is completely fine as well. And it just gives you more tactical steps that you can go after, but most importantly, it gives you things that you can track. See, most people who are very successful, they track their goals. They write it down somewhere and they come back and get it. It's even with weight loss. If I say I'm going to lose 30 pounds, I'm going to lose hope when I'm constantly doing something. I'm only losing 2 or 3 pounds. I'm not going to keep going after it. And so as human beings, we need achievements. Achievements is what keeps us going. So when we create these smaller sets of goals, it allows us to get that self-fulfillment of reaching a goal. If I set a weekly goal, it's a lot of work to do this, but if you set a weekly goal for the next 30 days, I guarantee you, man, you're going to be so much more likely to fulfill that goal because every time that you get a step closer, you get that self fulfillment that keeps motivating you and keep you going. So, we're emotional beings, and so emotional keeps us going. So if you attain a goal, you get a sense of achievement that keeps you going. But
mhm,
if it's a year away, I don't know how close I'm getting to that goal. I don't even know if it's measurable. And that's what Smart Goals does, is measurable. So I know how close I'm getting to it. If not, I'm just constantly running in circles and I have no idea if I'm moving towards it, away from it, if I'm making no progress. So that's why it's important to set those SMART goals so you can track it, measure it, and actually move towards it and know where you're going.
Yeah, smart goals. I've been using that strategy just with writing down my goals on a regular basis, and I think that with it being the beginning of the year, I know a lot of people are focused on their goals, and like you said, when you're looking at it from a year out, you have to have a perspective of, okay, what do I need to do quarterly? I always look at years as quarters. It's 4 quarters in a year. So what do I need to do in this first quarter on a monthly basis to get me to the standard that I need to be at by the end of the year? And when you look at it from a weekly standpoint, you look at it from a daily standpoint, it keeps you energized. And I think that, you have to celebrate your small wins. When you have such big elaborate goals, if you're not if you're not tracking the small wins or celebrating the small wins, you're going to kind of just burn out. So I think that having that strategy with the SMART goals is such an excellent strategy, and it's a strategy that I've used and have used for years. So I definitely
Mhm.
think it is very important when you're focusing on your vision for the future. Now, I wanted to talk about like the mind. I believe that the mind it plays such a vital role on our thoughts and our habits that we form to attract what we want in life. And research has stated that 90% of the mind is subconscious and 10% is conscious. And I know you have spoken on this before in some of your videos. But can you kind of talk about the relationship between the conscious and the subconscious mind?
Yeah, most definitely. Man, that is such a big topic. And so I can talk
Hmm.
about this for hours, but I'm going to try to condense it as much as I can. And so
Hmm.
the way to think about it, man, is we are vibrational beings.
Hmm.
Everything moves in vibration. And so when you think
Hmm.
about energy, energy has been such a big thing. Everyone talks about, oh, I'm pushing out this energy. Energy's here. That energy comes in vibration, right? And so when you think about the vibration of that energy, it will attract things that are moving at the same vibrational frequency. So if I'm pushing out energy towards
Hmm.
something, no matter and it happens 100, it happens all the time. It's not like it just happens when I want it to happen. No matter what, the energy that I'm pushing out into the universe comes in a vibrational frequency that's going to attract things that are on the same vibrational frequency. And so when you think of positivity, if I'm continuously pushing out energy that is positive, what happens is I'm going to attract things into my life that are also positive. And you have to be aware of the energy that you're pushing out because it's working 24/7, whether you like it or not. So if I'm constantly complaining about things, what am I going to attract into my life? I'm going to attract those
Hmm.
things that I'm complaining about because that's what I'm focused on. And so it's really
Hmm.
not about rather, these negative and positive things are out there. They're out there. We live in it's the law of abundancy. Everything that we want is out there. There's an unlimited amount of money out there. So if I want to touch $10 million, if I want to touch billions of dollars, I can because it's out there. Every goal that I probably want to achieve is out there. And so we are constantly attracting things into our life that we are focusing on, and that's the biggest thing. And so you mentioned that our subconscious mind is 90% of our thoughts. And that's very true. And 10% is our conscious mind. Our subconscious mind is our database. Think of our subconscious mind as the database for everything that we've learned since we were a child. Every natural reaction, me
Hmm.
moving my hands right now, that's my subconscious mind moving it. But I just consciously thought
Hmm.
about it. So now I'm doing it. But everything
Right.
that we're doing is mostly from our subconscious mind. When we take walks and we're not thinking about it, where we're just,
Just
walking,
walking.
taking steps.
Yeah.
That's our subconscious mind. That's not us. And so when you think of
Yeah.
everything that we are attracting into our life is coming from our subconscious mind. Our natural habits are
Hmm.
coming from our subconscious mind. And so our doubt, our fear that we're not necessarily thinking of and consciously thinking about, we're pushing that energy out into the universe because it is in our subconscious mind. So what you can do is, and this is what successful people are able to do, they're able to leverage their conscious mind to pretty much reframe and reprogram their subconscious mind. And it's a
Hmm.
big methodology to do it. I think that anyone who's interested in what I'm talking about, please go read about it because, like I said, you could talk about it for hours. But the way that it works
Hmm.
is our natural habits are in our subconscious mind. So if I want to reach for something, if I want to strive for something that I have a goal, a smart goal on, right? I have to figure out, I
Hmm.
have to consciously push that smart goal and the things that I want into my subconscious mind so that I can create natural habits that are going to move me towards it. Let's think about this. This is such a good example. You ever think about when you go and you buy a new car, and then when you buy that new
Mm-hmm.
car, you all of a sudden realize that there's hundreds of the same cars everywhere you go. You see that same car that you just
Mm-hmm.
bought. It's not like these cars just
Mm-hmm.
magically appeared just because you bought your car. No, they've always been there. But what's happened is your mind frame, your subconscious mind now is noticing those cars now that they're there. They didn't just magically be there. You know what I mean? It's so
Mm-hmm.
powerful, man. And if you can leverage your conscious mind to reprogram your subconscious mind, you start gravitating towards everything that you want to achieve, and it's amazing. You start noticing things that are around that's helping you get to your goal. You start leveraging relationships that are going to help you get to where you want to go. You know what I mean? You start having conversations about your goals, and all of a sudden, people just start coming in that's helping you get there. That's not a coincidence. Those people are already out
Mm-hmm.
in the universe. They're already there. It's just now
Mm-hmm.
you're finally noticing them because you're leveraging your conscious mind and you've reprogrammed your subconscious mind. So hopefully, I tried
Mm-hmm.
to condense that as much as possible, but I hope that people out there can really take that and understand like how that works. So hopefully
Yeah,
that
I
helps.
mean, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. I mean, a great book is The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. It's a very good book that talks about everything that we're talking about. And I always stress to people that the one way you want to reprogram your mind, especially the subconscious mind, so it can go into the conscious of with your mentality, is you want to be able to develop habits that you repeat on a consistent basis. So one thing that I have done is trying to get more in the habit of reviewing my goals 3 times a day, in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. And I realized that as I start to focus on it more and more, I'm starting to build my subconscious mind where it's starting to become a habit for me to actually want to look at my goals on a daily basis, to be like, okay, this is what I need to do throughout the day to accomplish what I have written down. And what a lot of people don't know is that your subconscious mind cannot tell from what's reality and what is non-reality. So that's why imagination and visualization is so important with building the subconscious as well. And that's why, affirmations, being able to visually build your mind in other ways, it can help you to be able to create, what you want to attract. Because like you said, Adrian, everything here that we want to accomplish is already here. If you want to financially be successful, it's already here. It's just the energy that you're putting into it on a consistent basis that it becomes a reality where you have the financial success that you want. It's the same thing with exercising. If you want your body to look a certain way, it just doesn't happen just off of you just thinking it, but you have to develop the habits of getting up every day, working out, dieting, making sure that you're taking the right actions that correlates with your mind. So I think that the thoughts, the actions, the habits, they all will produce results that you want to get throughout your life, and the vibrations, and we control everything. That's why I always stress to people, you don't really want to complain or have doubt and have fear, because you may think that you just saying that it doesn't have an effect. But just like what you just said, Adrian, you just by you just saying that and putting it in the universe, now everything that's going to be coming to you throughout the day is going to be fear, doubt, uncertainty. So subconscious mind, I love this topic, man, because we control so much with our mind, man. And if you can really fix that first, everything with your actions and your habits is going to lead to the results. You know what I mean, that you want. So,
It's
I
dangerous.
totally agree.
It's super dangerous to ignore the power of your subconscious mind. And so the reason for that is
Mm-hmm.
because these doubts and these fears that you're mentioning, we don't notice them really. Like it's not like we are consciously thinking
Mm-hmm.
about our doubts and fears all the time. We have them. And so what we have to do is we have to bring them. We have to shine a light on these doubts and these fears, and we have to figure out a way to counter them. Because if we don't, they're just going to
Yeah.
take over our life. And people who don't understand this concept, fear and doubt is constantly running in their life. Like it's just running. They don't notice it. They don't know that they're attracting it um, until you sit back and acknowledge, what are the doubts and fears that I have in my life, and what are the ways that I can counter it? What are ways that I can kind of depress these things that are coming in my life? So it's big, and I want more people, anybody listening to this, I want more people to acknowledge the power of your subconscious mind, because it can be very, very dangerous if you don't acknowledge it.
Yeah, and I think too, another thing that I wanted to talk on is like with the subconscious mind, you also want to make sure you're watching what you consume, and that's one thing that I've been much more aware of, whether it's music, things that I'm watching on TV. I think ways that you can build your subconscious mind is just putting constant personal development, growth, positivity in the mind that's going to allow you to be able to develop, because all of that plays a role too. A lot of people, may not think that, but if you are, focused on something that isn't the best for your growth, just naturally you'll start to do things that are not correlating with what what you will want for your life. So everything that you're doing is very important. And I think that the foundation of everything that we're talking about right now is personal development. And one of my favorite quotes by Jim Rohn, the quote is actually behind me. He says, like, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better, and don't wish for less problems, wish that you have more skills. And I wanted to get your perspective, Adrian, on how do you emphasize personal development when you speak with other entrepreneurs within your consulting business?
Yeah, so it's really about any communication, anything that you do, you have to think about what do you want to get out of it, right? So that's, again, that's leveraging your
Hmm.
conscious mind to figure out what you're pushing into your subconscious mind. And you have to figure out,
Hmm.
anytime you have a conversation, figure out what is your goal. Like with every conversation, like right now with you, like I have to ask myself, what is my
Hmm.
goal in talking to Kev right now? And so once you figure out, what you want to reach out of that conversation, it changes the conversation. It makes the conversation
Hmm.
much more valuable, not just for you, but also the person that you're speaking to. And so the biggest thing though is, and also when you come up and you say, what is my goal out of this conversation, you figure out how to pull the value out of it. You notice the value a lot more, because
Hmm.
see, the thing is, man, is like we all have like these amazing skills. Like we all have these amazing things, but we undervalue them, especially our own.
Hmm.
And we also undervalue other people's skills. Like I said, that's why you treat everyone equally, because the janitor could provide more value to you than a CEO of a company, depending on the
Yeah.
conversation and what you pull out of it. And so we undervalue
Hmm.
these things based on status, and we undervalue things based on, what we might see openly. But again, once we tap into someone's mind, they can provide so much value. When you if you could talk to a
Hmm.
homeless person and they can provide you some amazing value, because it's like, how are you happy right now? Like, how can you be happy and you're not in the best situation, but you have this conversation about
Hmm.
how they have so much grace and so much gratitude that they're pushing out to the universe. It doesn't matter what their situation is. They know how to make themselves happy. And I say all of that to say is, I think that whenever you have a conversation with someone, you should be doing two things. You should be figuring out how to gain value from that conversation, and two, you can figure out how are you pushing value onto that person, because again, the
Hmm.
energy that we push out comes back. So if I'm pushing out value,
Hmm.
more than likely I'm going to get value back. And even if our conversations, this even
Hmm.
takes it to when you teach someone something. You don't know how much you know about something until you go to teach somebody about it. And every time that you go and teach
Hmm.
somebody about something, or you figure out a way to give them value, what you realize is there's some gaps. You have some gaps that you can potentially close. And so you're in this constant state of learning and learning and learning, because when you're teaching somebody something, you're learning something new about something that you're missing, or that person has challenged something that you said, and it makes you open up your mind a little
Hmm.
bit more. So it's all about gaining value
Hmm.
from conversations, and it's not really necessarily I'm using somebody. No, it's just a
Yeah.
constant cycle of value. And if you're constantly pushing value out, values coming in, what happens to people after this conversation are slowly elevating from that conversation of
Hmm.
value, switching because we all have these amazing skills, this amazing knowledge that we always undervalue. But if you bring it out of somebody and if you bring it out of yourself, what you do is you end up pushing a lot of value out that's going to help you elevate.
Yeah, I definitely that's the same thing that I try to do with anybody I come into a connection with. Like I think that, I'm looking at ways of how I can add value to them. And Gary Vee talks a lot about how, you want to give and then ask. So that's always how I try to approach things. I try to look at ways of how I can give to my audience, to give to my guests, to serve, because being able to serve and look out for others other than yourself, that's going to allow you to be able to build your personal development. You're growing from that mind state. So I definitely agree, man. You want to look at the value that you can give to the conversation, but also how you can be able to receive value for yourself. So it's definitely it works both ways. And I wanted to shift this conversation. I wanted to actually talk about your ebook that's getting ready to come out here February 21st of 2021, called The Manifestation Playbook. And I wanted to see if you can give our audience, some insight on what the book is going to be about and how they can be able to grab a copy.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thanks for bringing that up. So yeah, the ebook is coming February 21st. Been working on it for quite a while now, and what it is it's pretty much a lot of the conversation that we had today.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way to pretty much take these very complicated methodologies from like the law of attraction, the conscious and the subconscious mind, and it's pretty much taking it, pulling out the valuable information that makes it real for someone and make it for them that they can relate to it, and how you can leverage that for your path towards success and manifestation. So the way that it works is it teaches you how to one identify your vision, what it is that you want to actually strive for. And you do that by defining what is success and happiness to you. So once I define this, what is success and happiness, it helps develop this vision. Then I develop SMART goals that's going to help me strive towards that vision. And then I'm going to leverage that vision to help me attain my SMART goals when I run into challenges that are going to happen when I run into these SMART goals. And so another thing that we
Mm-hmm.
mentioned during the conversation is the power in not acknowledging the fear and the doubt that we have as
Mm-hmm.
we strive for success. How we can bring this energy to the universe and it can really block you from moving forward in life. And so the manifestation playbook is very tactical. It's going to teach you how to take your SMART goals and identify the fear and the doubt that is with that SMART goal, and then show you how you counter that fear and that doubt. And what that does is it develops affirmations that you can leverage that is going to constantly depress these fear and this doubt that's going to keep you from moving forward. And so the manifestation
Mm-hmm.
playbook teaches you how to leverage this methodology that I developed to help you reach your goals and success. And I was very intentional on making a book pretty much as short as possible. It's an
Mm-hmm.
ebook. It comes with the workbook that you're going to leverage after the ebook, which shouldn't take you long to read. And with that, it also comes with the video tutorial that's going to teach you how to do the workbook. So that'll be dropping again on the 21st. Really on my platform on IG is where I'm going to continue to push it. And it's going to be a digital product, so anyone can access it pretty easily on their iPad, iPhones, computers. So yeah, really my IG at the grind season is going to be where you want to go, and you're going to be able to purchase it directly from my website, which is thegrindseason.com. So
Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I definitely can't wait to grab a copy myself, because I think that, the manifestation is so important when you're trying to go after for your goals and your dreams. And I'm curious, are you going to be self-publishing? Like, are you just going to kind of just keep all of the, like, own the rights to the ebook, like just put it on your website? Do you plan to traditionally publish or self-publish?
no, not for this one, not for this go round, man. I came across
Yeah,
it and I want to just push it out. I think that is so much value
yeah.
that could be gained. And so yeah, I'm just going to
Hmm.
self-publish it. I'll throw it on
That's
Amazon.
good.
Amazon, you'll be able
That's
to
good.
grab a copy of it as well, but it's going to only be ebook
Hmm.
and digital products. And so that's the
That's good.
thing, man. Everyone has the ability to launch digital products. It doesn't matter what you do.
Hmm.
Look into it. Digital products are going to be the next big thing. They're already becoming a big thing, But digital
Big thing.
products, I'm telling you, digital products is where it's at. So yeah, it's gonna be a digital product that's gonna be available and hopefully get pushed into a lot of hands and change a lot of people's life. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too, man. I definitely can't wait for the book to come out. And to kind of wrap this conversation up, I know you invest for yourself. I invest also, so I always like having a conversation as far as just like stocks or just companies that you're looking at. And I just kind of wanted to get your perspective on what are some companies that you're actually looking at in the stock market now that you got your eyes on.
Man, honestly, with stock, I'm one of those guys that just invest and just walk away from it. Like I'm not the guy that's checking
Away
the
from
app.
it.
I just the stock
Yeah.
market is one of those things. Like it's
Uh,
just you either got a passion for it or you don't. So I don't have a big
yeah.
passion for the stock market. I have a buddy who's super
Yeah.
into it, and he'll text me every once in a while and say, "Hey,
Mhm.
this is the stock," and I'll just follow his lead. So I know the biggest thing was,
Yeah.
I was a huge person against kind of I guess Bitcoin and all of that.
Yeah.
But now it's like you have no choice but to jump on it now. It's like you
Jump
would
on it.
actually it makes no sense not to with the direction that it's going. So that's probably going to be the
Mm-hmm.
next big thing that I jump on. And I'll be
Mm-hmm.
honest, like what happened with GameStop and all
That
that,
was
like that
crazy.
craziness,
That was
I
crazy.
that tells me even more, man. It's like, look, this is not my space. Like I'm gonna just drop my dollars in and just walk away and kind of let it build. I'll check it every once in a while, but I'm definitely not the everyday person. But I will say Square, Cash App, I got into Cash App super early. And that thing has like
Mm,
tripled since I got into it. So I will say I did tap
that's
into
good.
Square and Cash App, but other than that, man, I'll leave
Yeah.
that to you. I'll leave that to you. I'll leave the stocks to you.
No, I feel you. I mean, I tell everyone like I'm not. I mean, I pay attention to the market, but I'm a long term investor first. Like I think that that has to be your approach. A lot of people try to play the short term game, and a lot of traders lose money. I think the statistics show that almost over like 70% of people that trade throughout the year they lose money. So it's like you don't never want to play it from a perspective of I'm gonna get in and then I'm gonna sell it within a day or within a couple of months because the capital gains tax on that, if you're taking the money out of your account, is way much higher than if you keep it long term. So I tell people long term approach. I always have that approach. I actually wasn't even in GameStop, but that situation did just show me like it's a crazy game. Like you got to really know what you're doing because there were a lot of retail investors that they actually came together and they were able to buy it up where the short sellers, which were the hedge funds that were actually betting on it to go down, the hedge funds, they probably lost some money, but then again, you got to kind of know. I always tell people never buy a stock at a high. You know what I mean? I think that with GameStop, the reason with the price it's at now, I definitely not will not be in it. So you just got to be smart, and I feel you on that, man. It's something that it's you don't if you don't really understand like how to do that short term stuff, you don't want to even play that game, man. You want to just long term invest consistently month over month and let it grow over time. That's the best strategy to have. But that's good though. Square and Cash App, they great companies, man. So you definitely in the right spot with that. But so I wanted to kind of just the last question here. How can our viewers kind of connect with you either on social media and also if they want to look more into your services that you offer, what is the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, definitely Instagram. Again, at the grind season.
That's good.
That's gonna be the username. Just use IG is where I'm most active. I'm on there every single day. I usually try to post every single day to provide value to people who follow me. So definitely the grind season on IG. I am launching my YouTube as well as like my podcast on the podcast streaming services. Usually I was just kind of playing with it and again just used it as content for my IG,
Hmm.
but I'm gonna go ahead and take that to the next level. So I'm really tapping into the podcast And not to kind of kick off another
Hmm.
conversation, man, but the thing about podcasts
Oh
is
no, you
is
good. You good.
it's,
You,
it's definitely
you
a
good.
very saturated market. Like it's easy, right? Anyone can jump into a
It is
podcast. It's easy to start a podcast, but it's really hard to maintain a podcast. So I'm
maintain.
really jumping into the
Hmm.
podcast market, and I was really kind of against it for that reason. I'm like, it's saturated, whatever. But the thing is, when a market is saturated, it proves that there is a market for it. You know what I mean? And it's like, no
Hmm.
matter what, especially with a podcast, the thing that you're going to bring more than anyone else is your authentic self. And so that is what
So,
brings people to your podcast is your authenticity. So that's the next thing I'm going on this podcast is going to be big. I have a lot of
yeah.
guests that are coming. I got guests lined up that's going to really provide valuable information around entrepreneurship, pursuing your purpose, wealth building, and things like that. Because all of it's going to be new to me, so I'm going to be learning just like the audience. When people come in, I'm going to be learning just
Mhm.
like them. So that's what I'm excited for. But yeah, the grind season on IG is definitely going to be the way to connect with me. I also provide coaching services to entrepreneurs. I do that at a small scale. I don't take on too many clients, because it's just the
Mhm.
time constraint on it, and I want to make sure I provide value to any client that I bring on. But if anyone's interested in getting
Mhm.
coaching services for their entrepreneurship, reach out to me on IG.
Yeah, I definitely, man. Everybody, if you could definitely go subscribe, like and share. Um, Adrian's page on YouTube is the grind season. I definitely, man, it would be great to do this again on your show. I would love to bring some value to your platform. And I did want to also tell everyone for Insightful Principles, if you can like, subscribe, and share this video, that would be greatly appreciated. If you're listening on an audio platform right now, if you can leave a review, if you can share, being able to subscribe on that. It is also, I'm on all audio platforms. And I just thank you so much, Adrian, for coming on the show. It was such an engaging conversation. And just want to tell you all, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Insightful Principles, and take care.